Hello, spokesperson subscribers. For today's newsletter, I thought I would share a story with you about a recent experience I had with the rock, paper, scissors game. Now, recently I traveled to Turkey. I was doing some programming for a summer camp over there, and I was doing some programming with the staff as well as some programming with the kids. So one thing I love about international travel and games in general is that games really do supersede any language barrier. So several of the kids that were in the program did not speak English. But one thing that I did know is that they knew how to play games. And I knew that they knew how to play rock, paper, scissors. So I had an interpreter that was helping me interpret my directions for the different games. But with rock, paper, scissors, a lot of it is so visual that I thought those would be some really great games to play with the kids. So I have an interpreter with me, and my first group of kids that I went to do some rock, paper, scissors games with, they were 9 to 10 years old, and there were about 60 of them. So I'm standing in front of 69 to 10-year-olds, and whenever I lead a rock, paper, scissors game, I always like to ask the crowd and make sure that everybody knows just the basic rules to rock, paper, scissors. So usually it sounds something like this. Okay, you guys, we're going to play a game that has rock, paper, scissors as the foundation. Now, is there anybody here that does not know how to play the basic game of rock, paper, scissors? Now, some people will raise their hand and some people won't. So just for those that are a little bit more quiet and aren't going to actually ask for their needs at that point in time in front of a large group, I always show them the directions just in case. So I tell them, it's like, okay, well, let's just review the rules just in case. So what beats rock? Paper. What beats paper? Scissors. And what beats scissors? Rock. Awesome. So those are the three that we're going to play with today. Not any of the other ones that I know are in some of the other games. Just those three, rock, paper, and scissors. Now, whenever I play a rock, paper, scissors game, I always throw my symbol on the fourth beat. So it's rock, paper, scissors, throw, or rock, paper, scissors, show. So then they've now seen the different symbols several different times, and that way you know that everybody in the crowd kind of has an idea of what you're doing. So here I am standing in front of 69 to 10-year-olds, and I start my directions. My interpreter is interpreting for me. So I said, okay, this is an Olympic year. We're going to play a great game of Olympic rock, paper, scissors. So I was about to start my first game. And then all of a sudden, I start my intro, and my interpreter is interpreting the rules. And I said, all right, so is there anyone here that does not know how to play rock, paper, scissors? Okay, well, let's make sure everybody knows. So what beats rock? Paper. And I do the paper sign just like I always do it. And then all of a sudden, every single 9 and 10-year-old just went, oh my God, oh my God. And they start like looking around, and they're like looking at each other like, did she just do that? I was like, obviously whatever I had just done was really bad. And so all of a sudden I asked, I said, what did I just do? And one of the counselors that was there said, no, don't do that. I was like, what did I do? They're like, basically this sign here, to translate, you basically just gave of all the 9 to 10-year-olds the equivalent here in the States of the middle finger. I was like, what? Like, oh my gosh, I was horrified. We got a good giggle out of it, and it was a nice teachable moment for me of cultural differences, right? So I said, well, how do we do it? They said, your hand needs to be together and even cupped a little bit, but open hand. And he goes, and you really popped it, which means you really gave it to him pretty good. So I was like, oh my goodness, I was so embarrassed. And again, I didn't know. So just one of those fun, teachable moments that will now be a story that I probably tell forever. But I won't repeat when I go over to a different country, right? I will be very careful about my different directions, right? So I tell you this, one, to get a little giggle, but two, just to recognize that there are some cultural differences out there, and it is not in my facilitator recommended tips that you give a bunch of 9 and 10-year-olds the middle finger. It's just not appropriate. I just wouldn't do it. So anyway, so that's my tip for today. Kind of a super fun, silly story about an experience that I had recently with rock, paper, scissors. So enjoy the newsletter today, and the instructions for the Olympic rock, paper, scissors games are going to be included below. Thanks so much.